Hi everyone, welcome to the vlog. This is December's vlog. It's just going to be me talking to the camera. As you can tell behind me, I've moved. I moved into the house. December was incredibly chaotic. A lot happened in December and we're going to run through it all. I made myself a hot chocolate. You can see my kitchen. I'll put in some footage at the end of, like, while I was moving in. I didn't even think to take footage of the apartment as I was moving out, other than possibly what I thought. I lost a lot of footage on my phone. I had to restart it and lost footage and phone numbers for some reason. So there's that. It's currently the 4th. So welcome to the new year. It's January 4th, 2026, for those of you in the future, if anybody's watching this then. Later, future people. How to start? My December was full of lots of events, and my anxiety right now is at about a 5 or a 6 maybe. I'm usually pretty conservative with judging that. That's like 1 to 10, 10 being like the worst, or 100 million. So I made so much happened that I made a 2-page list of all the things. So I had to take my socks off. My feet are too warm. Let's do the final thing that happened, which is the most bizarre thing. It happened 3 days ago. My curling iron died. It's like the cherry on my crap cake. I have my big curling iron, but it's huge, and I don't even know why I bought it. I've had it for about 3-4 years now. Spur of the moment purchase, I suppose. But December, man, December. So I got my move-in date for here, for the house, I'm gonna hug this pillow, last month, just before Thanksgiving. Rhonda and I decided on, and Heather decided on a move-in date. Heather, this was my daughter's house. 'Tis now mine. And I love it. I love this little house so much. Lots of things to do and change and improve and make it my own and to feel like I'm at home here. But today, like, I had to talk myself off of spending $1,000. It's just silly. I don't have that money to spend right now. So at any rate, today, let's start with, I'm out of sorts. My phone just popped up a security something. My phone is very odd these last few. I don't know. At any rate, I feel like I should start over. Should I? I'm not going to start over. It's only. So I got my move-in date, and I was very excited. Just before Thanksgiving we did at my daughter's house, and next door at my middle daughter's, my middle child, Heather, her house with her boyfriend. They just moved in together, so they moved next door into his house, and I moved in here, and I'm renting this house. So that got me out of that little studio apartment, which for me is a huge blessing, and just is a big old blessing all the way around. And we decided that we were going to do the actual move-in day because Fluff, he's asleep on the floor. I don't want to disturb him. You'll see him in the footage of me doing the house. I'll put him, he'll be at the end of the video. A little something for you. He's super cute. But he had a bath today. and a training day, kennel training, and me cleaning and organizing and doing all the things. And I organized and cleaned for almost 4 hours today. I'm a little sore. Not very sore, I'm just a little sore. But, so I inherited a dog with the house. Fluff is, I don't know what Fluff is. It looks like a cross between a kind of a herding dog, a sheep kind of dog, a sheepdog, and a schnauzer. To my eye, I could be completely wrong. The vet was like, so mutt, but he's sweet and adorable. Can't handle the wet dog smell though. So very rainy season here right now, super rainy, and wet dog is not delightful at all. So he got a bath and blow dry and a good brushing, and I gave him his bone. I got him a filled bone to chew, and he's gotten so far in, and I've been putting a little bit of treat on the inside where he's already licked it to the point where he can't lick it anymore without breaking the bone, and the bone's pretty thick, so yeah, whatever. 6 minutes in. All right, I'm gonna stop talking about the dog's bone. He's settled, and I don't want to disturb him by making him come over here and get on it. You'll see him. So we decided I was moving in on the 13th so that I could be here for Fluff, and Fluff wouldn't have a day where no one was in the house with him, because for all of us that was just a not okay thing. And I couldn't bring him up to the apartment with me because it was a no pets place. When I moved in, it was a no pets place. They changed their rules at some point and allowed cats, which, whatever. I didn't need an animal while I was living there anyways. So we decided that the 13th was going to be, I was going to look, I think it was a Saturday. That weekend, we were going to take their bed and the last of their stuff out of here and move it over to their house. And then they came up to my house, my apartment, and helped me do a big load of stuff. They moved my mattress, my big bed, it's a full size. They moved my bed and kitchen stuff, bathroom stuff, and some of my suitcases with my clothes, just to get me started. And then throughout the month and the chaos, I moved the rest of my stuff into the house. But a few days before that day arrived, the floods hit here on the 11th. We got, my daughter lives over in Mount Vernon. 4 of my grandkids, her husband, and their cat all live in an apartment over there, and they are directed, and I know I'm saying that word wrong, directly. I say it directly because it's fun. They're directly next to the river there, like you can breathe and you're there. So they got evacuated. And she called me in a panic on the 11th in the evening with, I don't know what I'm going to do. And Joe's at work, that's her husband, and he's a good hour away. And I don't know what to do. And my daughter, my oldest, she hits panic mode. She goes 0 to chaos like that. Worst case scenario is happening now, even if it's not, kind of thought patterns. So she called to have me come over and calm her down and find out the reality of what she needs to do. And she needed to evacuate. She called the correct people, and she got the correct information, and she needed to leave now. So this house was open. There was, my daughter's bed was still here at the time, and kitchen stuff and whatnot. So we picked up all the stuff from the floor and put it as high as we could. Packed all the stuff that was pertinent into her van and my car and their truck, because Joe had come home by the time I had been there for about an hour. We got everything packed. We got the cat packed, and the cat came with me to my apartment. because they couldn't have the cat here with the dog, because I don't think Fluff's ever met a cat. He's only a year old, so I don't think that'd have gone well. So I volunteered to take Nora. That's their cat. She's a little fluffy gray ball of fear. She's very skittish and antisocial. She doesn't really like to be held, and she only likes to be pet when she wants to be pet, and then she'll scratch you when she's done. She's like, get felt really bad for her. She did really, really well. She was with me for 2 days on the so they evacuated. I called Heather and Jeff to see if they would be willing, because they didn't have the kids that weekend, if they would be willing to let Jessica, Joe, the kids stay here, the 4 kids stay here, because this is the only space that had enough room, even though this was still in the flood zone and possible evacuation. Like where I am right now is in the major flood zone, and evacuation is very possible. Stanwood floods every year, though. They've got a pretty good system going on right now. Over the last few years, I don't know, I'm guessing. They've built up the dikes, I guess they're called. I don't know. You guys tell me. I'm going to say dikes. They've built up the barriers around the town where it normally floods, and there's one road in that they have to block and build a sand wall to keep the river out of town, because those farmlands flood every year completely. So not abnormal for us, just not like up in our homes. Usually this yard right here is pretty squishy and could have like an inch or 2 of water, just standing water, until things settle and start draining again. But again, not abnormal for us. So it didn't flood here. The town was fine. Everybody did the normal things that they do: sandbags, boarding, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm not trying to make it smaller. It was incredibly stressful. It was incredibly stressful. Fearful. And with all the videos and all the footage of the surrounding area and all the people that were not lucky enough to be in the zone that didn't get flooded. We just happened to be in that safe zone, I guess. So they stayed here. And then my son is up in Clear Lake. And I honestly thought he would be outside at the flood zone just because of the drive there. And they're within the foothills. And I guess, at any rate, they were in the flood zone as well. And they waited too long. They didn't get hurt or anything, but they ended up... So Jessica and Joe and family got evacuated here and stayed here. That same day, I called my son, and he said, "We're fine. We're good. I don't think we're in danger zone, Mom. Everything's fine. We're good." And called him, I think, the next day to double check and see, like, are you guys still good? And they had spent the night they had to load their 4 cats, 5 dogs, and chickens. I'm thinking, I don't know. I didn't think to ask about the chickens at the time because honestly forgot about them. But one of their roommates has chickens in the backyard. All their roommates and them, there's currently 4 people living in the house altogether. So 4 people, 4 cats, 5 dogs. Is that right? Yeah. 5 dogs, and them, the neighbors, and the people that live around them all end up sleeping in their cars with all the animals, and like they drove up the hill behind their house, so they were safe, just uncomfortable, and it ended up flooding through there's the underneath the crawl space of their house up to the floorboards, but not into the house. Like, so they did get flooded. The fire department that told them to leave. Like, you have to go. So they left, but they got completely flooded all the way around them, so they couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't go anywhere. They were kind of stuck. Everybody's fine. Everybody's lucky. Everybody's safe and okay. They ended up sandbagging, coming back down, sandbagging in case of more flooding because there was that big danger. We had days of flood watch, and I'm sure stuff's still going on. I just had to stop. I had to stop. So that was the 11th through like the 13th. 14th kind of bled a little bit into the 15th for staying in contact with everybody, because on the 14th we got the windstorms kicked in, and it was pretty bad. Their roommates, just my son, a little side note, mom thought it was pretty funny. Nick's really mad. His motorcycle cover is gone. Like, the wind was so strong, it ripped the motorcycle cover off his motorcycle and took it. The cover that my son had on his camper, because he covers his camper every year, was completely obliterated. Poor Fluff was not happy with the wind at all. We lost power here. I got real bad mom worry, and I called my son and I called my daughter, Jessica, because she had gone home on, it was Friday or Saturday. I don't remember which day she went home. One of those 2 days, because it's been too long. It's all mud my brain at this point. I'm not really good with dates, which is why I made a list. I had to actually get in the phone and find dates, because it feels like everything happened at once at this point. I pretty did, bam, bam, bam. So I'm going to try to keep this a little not long as 17 minutes in. I'm sorry if this is boring, but man alive, December was a lot. So the 14th, we got wind, storms. Everybody's fine now, but then I was stressed out about possible more flooding and having to get people to safety quickly, because everyone was like over it and we're going home. So and through the 13th, around that day, I was partially moved in here and still at the apartment. I had everything moved from the apartment by the 20th. Yeah. Which was a Saturday. Yeah. But between the 14th and the 20th, there was the windstorms. We had power outage. It was out for a little bit here. Not terrible. Son and Kate didn't have power. And then Jessica and Joe were out of power for like a day and a half with the kids. And that's a lot with 4 little kids. But they did fine. They got through it. What else? I'm sorry about all the as well. I don't catch them until I'm editing. So I had mom panic and called them, and everyone was like, yes, mom, we're watching for the floods. It's fine. Because it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night when the winds kicked in hard enough here to make me stress out. And I think I was up till like 2 in the morning because just super stressed out. Fluff was not happy. Yeah, it was a long night. Finally fell asleep, got up the next day, and just kind of powered through. Still, when all this was happening, I still watched Astrid on Monday, Tuesday, still had to work, still had to go to Shoreline on the days that I had to go to Shoreline, Wednesday, Fridays, and ended up actually letting them know the week that the floods hit, I didn't go to Shoreline. I was not going to be gone from this area and be an hour to 2 hours away, depending on traffic and chaos, from my kids during a dangerous time. So I ended up staying home and working from home those days. I have a list. So that things started to like calm down a little bit after the windstorms. There was there was just a little breath for me to just calm down. And while all this was happening, I was doing loads from the apartment. Every day I did a load. I did my work. I tried to unpack the stuff that I brought here, but I didn't have enough things here to organize any of the stuff that I had here. So I'd go up to the apartment and load my little car and bring more down, and by like 3 every day, I was just done. So those days between checking on the kids and trying to unpack the house and just breathe from my chaotic, worrying mother mind. We also had planned our Christmas dinner for the Sunday before Christmas was the day that we could all get together as a family at my daughter's apartment. So they finally got everything back together. We all made food. So on the 21st, right? I'm jumping ahead. So Fluff was afraid of the wind. I mean, he was like at my side. He wouldn't go outside. He didn't go pee. He didn't eat. He didn't go to the bathroom for too long, so long. He would not go outside. I even went out there with him and stood in the wind, like like, you gotta pee, dude. I know you have to pee, but he was too scared, and he didn't. He didn't pee in the house. He was such a good boy. He's a good boy. On the 19th, I believe it was a Monday or a Tuesday. I think it was a Monday. The 19th? I'd look on my phone, but I'm recording on it. I had to take him to the vet. So it was a Monday because I had to work. So I was online to work. We skipped out of here and got in the car and drove to Camino to take him to the vet because he'd been itching his ears really bad. And when I flipped one of them up, it was very red and felt super hot, like there was a fever in his little ear. The other one was red as well, but it wasn't hot. And they smelled a little bad. So I was like, great, now I got to take the dog into the vet. I just got him like days ago and he's already sick. Gosh. Gosh. So we took him into the vet. Turns out he had a yeast infection in both ears. So $200 later, he's been on his yeast medicine since then. There's a tiny bit left in the bottle that's up there. He also has a Dog is Human vitamins that he's been taking every day this month. So his skin's not red anymore. His ears are really good. He's doing really well. He's been bathed. He's been groomed. I trimmed his face for his little beard and his hair around his face and between his toe beans, because it got really long between his toe beans. There was some embedded mud and muck around his paws, made them all trimmed up his legs because he's got long hair. And then I trimmed his tail because his tail hair was like this long. He's got a little rope of a tail and all this hair. So I trimmed up his tail and his face and his paws, and he looked so much more handsome. And he's been doing great. And then the 20th, the Saturday, I did my last load of stuff from the apartment. The apartment was spotless clean. Everything was done. That was a Saturday. Got the last load here. And I had 8 totes left. 8 totes. And I think 6 bags of like books and then things that don't fit in a box, like brooms and mops and vacuum cleaner stuff and whatnot, things like that. Odd pot, my big canning kettle, things like that. So, and my car was packed. Like, couldn't get another thing in there if I tried. And I brought that home. When I was standing at the base of the stairs, the gentleman, because the girls helped me do a load of the big furniture as well the previous weekend. They had time that they could do that. My daughter brought her husband's truck, and they came in the truck, and we loaded my car and their truck, or her truck, and came back and unloaded everything. So they did help me with like 2 loads in one day, which was great. And then that Saturday, I still had all that stuff left, and I didn't have any help. So I went to the apartment just to get it done. I wanted it done. I wanted to be done and turn in my keys by Wednesday at the latest, so that I could just move on with life. I have on my big giant flannel shirt. It is a bit nippy without it. So bat wings. It's just big. I love it. So I did that last load, and when I was at the apartment, then one of the neighbor guys that helped us, he just happened to be traveling down the stairs, helped us move a load of stuff down. And he mentioned that weekend that his wife would have been really mad at him if he didn't like stop and help. So, and we thanked him, and it was nice that he did that. And then that Saturday, this guy came down with like his garbage and keys, and he was obviously leaving. Same guy. And he said, "In or out?" And I said, "Remember, I'm moving out. You helped us last weekend." And he's like, "Oh yeah. Oh, well, good luck." And I said, "Thanks." And he kind of took off, and I was a mess. I was red and sweaty and just not okay. Bright red cheeks, sweat, unpleasant to look at, just a disaster. And, taking a break. I was taking a break. I had already and my sciatic nerve was not in good shape. I was not in good shape, you guys. But I was doing it. I was getting it done. This is the last load. We're going to power through. We got to do it. Got to get it done. I had scrubbed the floors. I had scrubbed walls. Everything was clean. Everything was in the stairwell. I was moving everything from the top floor down to the bottom floor. It's 4 sets of stairs. It was a lot. And I was pausing and panting, and he came through, and he wished me luck and moved on, and then scared the crap out of me because he showed up. He must have gone back in the main door and down the hallway on the top floor, because he met me at the top of the stairs again, and he said, "Do you need help?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to say no, but I don't know how heavy things are, and you do not have to, but I would really appreciate some assistance." So he carried all 8 totes down like it was nothing. And I'm like, I want to be young and strong again. Dang it. Not that I'm not strong, but that resilience of youth. He brought all 8 totes down like it was no big deal. Hustling too. It was pretty impressive, and I thanked him very much. Thank you very much for helping me. Just huge blessing. Thank you. All the thank yous. And he said, "Yeah, I felt really bad for you, so you're welcome. Have a great day, Merry Christmas." And I wished him a Merry Christmas, and he left. And I got everything here, and I unloaded the car. No one was home next door. I unloaded the car, got everything in here, and I cried a little. 'Cause, dang. Just the relief and just all the emotional upheaval of the previous days. Just a lot, man. My anxiety is right here, and it feels tight and pressury, and between my shoulder blades is like on fire. So I'm working on that, but I wanted to get through this. We're on page 2. Final load. We did Christmas on the 21st. I did get some of the stuff unpacked on that day. I ended up taking a hot shower and stretching and just calming down and relaxing in the evening. I just kind of vegged out, watched TV, and went to bed early. And then on the 21st, I got up and forgot that I was supposed to make dessert for our Christmas Eve dinner. That was that evening. So I ended up having to go to the store. I decided to make an apple crisp because that's pretty easy. It's not a pie, but it is pie-esque. So I made a homemade apple crisp in a big pan. I went to the dollar store and got a big pan. I got a big old bag of apples. I made my homemade apple crisp. It was amazing. And I tried to make a pumpkin log, lost patience, and just cut the, because you make when you make a pumpkin log, you make a sheet cake, a thin one, and you're supposed to roll it up and put it in the fridge and let it cool, and then unroll it and frost it and roll it back up. That's the basics of maintenance. Putting it together. I just couldn't do it. So I cut the cake into 3 pieces and made a layer cake instead of, it didn't survive. It was gone before I left. So it was good, apparently. I didn't get a piece. So I spent the whole morning doing that, loading the presents in the car, feeling guilty about putting Fluff in his kennel while I was gone. Not that I should feel guilty. He does good in the kennel. He does really well. But I have mom guilt. So he's safe. He's good. He's not unhappy. I left the light on. His kennel's in my bedroom, by the way. And I'll show you around the house. You'll see that. You'll see all that. I put him in the kennel. I leave the light on. And I put, I have a small radio, emergency radio. I put that on. And I think I put Christmas music on. I don't, just so it wouldn't be quiet in here with him. Fluff, stop. You're shaking the couch, man. Yeah. So we had Christmas Eve dinner. It was chaos. It was utter chaos. Fantastic to be with all the kids and the grandkids. Don't get me wrong, but man alive, that's a lot of people in that teeny tiny apartment. And it was rainy and icky and dark outside, so it's not like anyone could go out on a porch or, take a breather. Yeah. Sorry, you're on my footstool. I keep the gift giving conservative because I feel like Christmas should be about being with family and friends and realizing what the holiday is actually about. And for me, personally, it's about being with family and appreciating what you have and getting a chance to just be together. That's his claws on the floor. He's stretched off his blanket. But for my kid's dad and his wife, Christmas is a free-for-all. And they have so many presents under that tree that took up, it was so much. It was too much. It was so much. I thought that some of it was from Jessica and Joe. No, it was all Rosalie and Michael buying just crazy amount of gifts for the kids. Crazy amount of gifts. Out of hand. And the kids were disinterested. It took so long to open presents. We did presents before dinner. It took so long that the kids became disinterested and went and played. They had to keep getting called back. I've never seen kids, disinterested in Christmas presents ever. But they're little. Like, poor Lucy May, she was done and she had like 6 more presents to open. She and Evelyn were the babies. They were the last ones. But they each had like silly amount of presents to open. And there was just so much that they couldn't, there's no seeing, there wasn't a moment to appreciate the gift and say thank you. It was just a lot. So we finished up with presents. We cleaned up the chaos, wrapping paper and whatnot, and kind of picked up the floor and put stuff away a little bit and brought things out to cars. And then we had dinner. And by the time dinner was done, the kids were ready for bed. It was pretty late. I don't think I got back here till it was somewhere around 8. We got there. I got there late. We were supposed to be there at 3. I got there at 3:30. I was waiting for the food to cool enough that I could put it in the car. But it was a good holiday. It was just a lot. So yeah. So that was the 21st. And then I kind of got, at Christmas, my son was a little sick. He had a cold and he wasn't feeling great, but he came anyways. He warned everybody, like, I don't feel good, but everyone was like, you're coming. So he came. But he was ill. He seemed fine when he left. I mean, he was tired, but he seemed okay. He wasn't like coughing or like up, sickly. And then the 22nd through the 29th was a blur. It was just a blur. I still had to work a little bit. I didn't have to go to Shoreline because I took Christmas week off, so I didn't have to work. I only worked Monday and Tuesday between Christmas and New Year's, and that was here. So there was a little respite, but I didn't even think to film for the vlog. I didn't even think to. I just didn't think to pick up the camera to vlog anything. Well, I did. You'll see at the end of the video, I vlogged a little bit when I first got in here, just because I remembered, oops, I was supposed to be recording this stuff. I really wanted to do really well for the vlog. That's Fluff. I'm going to say hi, Bubba. What are you doing? Do you need to go outside? Is that my baby? He's so damn cute. What you doing? We're going to lay down? I actually don't know what time it is. Usually around 9:30, 10 o'clock he needs to go out. It is late evening on the 4th. Do I need... Jeepers creepers. Okay. Do I need to pause and let you out? Huh? Is that what you want? What's it, my big boy? Yes. Oh, jeez. He burped. Whoosh, my handsome baby. Yes, you are. You want to go outside? All right. I'm going to pause and let him go outside. Okay, we're back. It's only 20 after 7. It feels like that's another thing in the wintertime. This whole month has felt like it's usually only like 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and my body feels like it's 10, 11 o'clock at night. And I'm like, I feel like I should be in bed. I feel like I should be sleeping. Yeah, I do. You're all right, baby. So let me finish up with all this. So on the so I had a few days in there where things calmed down a little bit, and I unpacked and organized the house and took care of the fluff. I didn't have to. I babysit Astrid, so I had Astrid New Year's week, right? Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, most of the day. Like, and when I say most of the day, I mean from like 9 until 2-ish. For me, that's most of the day. Because by the time 3 o'clock rolls around, my I'm just done with my whole day. I gotta get back on a good schedule. That's one of my goals for this year, is to get back on a good schedule. And I was actually starting to feel, on the 29th, I was starting to feel calmer, and I was doing really good with organizing. I was back in the back washroom, the little washroom in the back of the house, and having a moment of clarity where the organization was just, it was organized. I was organizing the organizational situation, if that's a thing. And I was in a flow. And at 5:45, I got a phone call, and then my kid's dad is in my phone as dad. My dad passed away years ago. So my kids he's in my phone as dad. Not my kid's father or his name, or because at any rate, my phone rings and it says dad, and I'm like, I didn't freak out right away, but I did pick up with like a hello. Yeah, it's Michael. And my son was in the ICU. He had not been able to, for clarity, my son is type 1 diabetic. He's been diabetic since he was 7 years old. His diabetes has always been well in hand, and we've never had, no, you're not going back outside, Bubba. Fluff. He's such a nut. Go lay down. he's such a nut. So he's been diabetic since he was 7 years old, and that was a scary enough moment. And so I got a phone call from his dad, and he called to let me know that son was in the ICU and that he wanted to go, but he was 2 hours away, and I was already up. Son's in the ICU. What hospital? How bad is it? What's going on? Give me the deets. I gotta go. I was putting shoes on and going. I had to. No, you're not. You're not going back outside. I'm talking, so he's gonna be a goofball back there. He doesn't have to be. He's just being nosy. He's gonna make me reprimand him. Go lay down. Lay down. Down. Lay down. He has to process. He's thinking about it. Yeah, he's down. Okay. It's like having a 3-year-old. Sweet Lord. I was on the phone for, I don't even know how long I was on the phone with the dad. Turns out my son's blood sugar had spiked into the 650 plus, which is incredibly, terribly not okay. If you don't know anything about diabetes, it is terrifying. And he was in the ICU. He had gone to the hospital. He tried to go to the walk-in at 1 p.m. because he apparently had the flu. He'd been throwing up. He had not been keeping food down, and if you don't keep food down, you don't need to take insulin, and if you don't take insulin, the diabetes situation gets out of hand. And he had potassium in his bloodstream, which is no, it's bad. It is his heart was at risk. He could have had a heart attack or heart failure with that much potassium in his bloodstream, which is very, very unsafe. And I am not pretending to know all the things about diabetes. I don't. My son's been taking care of his diabetes since he was a teenager, even younger. And I mean, he's a grown adult man. So he and his girlfriend went to the doctor. They tried to go to the walk-in Skagit. The wait was too long, so they went to the emergency room in Skagit. Skagit ambulanced him to the Bellingham Hospital. And he was admitted to the ICU. And I was so scared. I cried the whole way to the hospital. I had to borrow my daughter's car because my car wouldn't make it. So Heather came over to check on me. Her dad had called her. When I got off the phone with Michael, he called Heather, who was next door. And then he called my other daughter, and they both messaged me within moments of talking to each one of them. Tried to call Kate's phone. The doctors were in the room talking to them, so she didn't answer. She said she'd call me back. My stress level was off the charts. I could hardly keep a coherent thought. And then Heather shows up with a, "Mom, are you okay?" No. My kid's in the hospital. I'm not okay at all. And I was like, "Can I borrow your car?" And she said, "Yes, here's the key." She already had the keys. She handed me the keys. She gave me a hug, let me know how it goes. It was a 45-minute drive to the hospital from here. Got up there. By the time I got to the hospital, he was being well cared for. They took very, very good care of my son. He was already, when I was talking to, I actually called, Kate called as Heather was heading out, as I was heading out. Kate called, and put my son on the phone, and he sounded drunk. His words were so slurred, and my son doesn't drink, so his words were so slurred. It was scary. And I'm sorry if this is triggering. I didn't think to do the trigger warning thing. I apologize if any of this is triggering for anybody, because man, my month was a lot. And if yours was, man, I wish I could do something to help you and make it feel better, because this sucks. So I cried all the way to the hospital, and fears, because he legitimately was at risk, and their rule is, for something of this caliber, with this particular situation, is to keep the patient for a minimum of 3 nights. By the time I got there at 6, his speech was better. He was exhausted. He hadn't kept any food down for a couple of days. The only reason he went to the hospital is because he was finally puking up blood. Not cool. Like, you know better. He knows better. But that I don't want to go to the hospital. I don't want to. I mean, no one wants to go, right? No one wants to go. So by the time I got up there, he was well in hand, and his sugar, his blood sugar was within a normal range, not his normal range, but a safer range. And his potassium levels were down enough that they didn't feel that he was as much at risk, but they monitored. Someone was in the room every hour. Every hour. That's a lot. They drew blood every hour. They checked his blood. They monitored him incredibly closely. They did such a good job taking care of him. Next day, by the time I left, his stomach was growling so loud. He was so hungry, but he wasn't throwing up anymore, and he was looking better and sounding better. He lost 10 pounds being sick in just a few days. Like, he dropped a lot of weight. And then I came home. I stayed until 9. They kick you out of the ICU. No one's allowed to spend the night. It was so quiet. There were not very many patients, which for me felt like a good thing. He had a nurse assigned directly to him that was checking on him. He was very sweet. And he was ready to go home and hungry by the time I left. He was like, I feel fine, Mom. I could go home. No, you can't. There's no point in going home now and ending up back in the hospital tomorrow. You're in the ICU. Maybe let's not rush. Maybe. Just a thought. Kate was upset because she couldn't, that's his girlfriend, so because she couldn't spend the night up in the room with him. She ended up spending the night at a friend's house right close by. And she was up there the minute visiting hours were open. The next day, I came home at 9. Well, I didn't get home till like 10:20 because the drive. By the time I got to my car, got Kate to her car and took off. By the time I got all the way home, it was like 20 after 10. I had to let Fluff out and take a shower and calm down enough that I could even get some sleep. Ended up passing out hard. The stress, I think. Woke up, messaged son right away. How are you feeling? What's going on? And he said he was fine. I'm fine, Mom. Kate's here. Nick's here. That's their roommate. One of their friends was supposed to go up and visit too, that lives pretty close by, and his dad was going up in the afternoon. And I felt like I didn't need to be up there. He was well in hand, and then like ready to go home, asking to go home. He wanted to go home. I messaged him again in the evening, gave him a quick phone call. He sounded good. And we did the normal circuit. My girls checked on me, I checked on them. Everybody kind of did the message circle. How is he? What's going on? That kind of thing. He was eating. He was feeling 100% better and just wanted to go home. And they ended up letting him go. They didn't keep him 3 nights. They only kept him the night he went in on the 31st, and then they kept him, or on the 30th, and then they kept him on the 31st, right? Oh, 29th. So they kept him on the 29th and the 30th, and then the 31st at 8 o'clock in the morning, he got to go home, which is great. He's home now. He's doing really well. He's fine. Everybody's fine. But man, the mom stress and the mom worry and the fear of, yeah, it was a lot. And then it was like New Year's, and this basket case, the neighbors did the big boom fireworks. So Fluff, come over here. Come over here, silly. Makes me laugh. What are you doing? You're not going back outside. You don't have to potty. You're just being nosy. He heard the geese, which is why he wanted to go out earlier. Yeah? Are you being a silly goose? Huh? Are you a silly goose? You might be baby. Yes. He got another bath today. Yeah, didn't you? There's my baby. And I brushed him really good. He still smells like dog, but not so bad. Stop. That's not yours. That's mine. So this is a long vlog and just me talking at the camera, and thank you if you stuck around. The last several days, he did not do well with the fireworks. He was directly attached to me. He would not go outside to go potty. I tried once again to go out with him, to stand out there, and Fluff. He does this a lot. He just wants to go stand outside. Just stand out there. He doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't got to pee. He just wants to stand in the middle of the walkway between here and the gate and look around and listen. I can hear the train. Is that what you're listening to? Do you hear the train? Hmm? What is that? What's that? We're teaching door manners too, aren't we? Yes. Not rushing for the door. I'm teaching him place so that he can chillax, so I can actually answer the door without him losing his mind, because he's a big boy. He's 65 pounds and he likes to jump up. So we got some work to do. And yeah, and so everybody's doing fine now. And then I think 2 or 3 days ago, it's the 4th now, so my my curling iron died. So yeah, it just is what it is. I have a lack of caring at this point. And today was an organize the house day and clean, and my daughter gave me her little couch that she left it here, and it's one of those modular couches that you can take apart and put in different ways. And it was, these 3 pieces were stretched out into a long couch. Not a fan of how much room it took up. I'm trying really hard to be satisfied with what I have, because what I have is enough. I'm using my folding table and my tablecloth from that I use for fairs, and my folding table stools, and I have a one of those foot storage boxes that's also a bench at the end of the table there. It's brown, you can hardly see it. And that's my dining room table for now. It's fine. It's just me and Astrid and my daughters and grandkids. They don't care. I care, but they don't care. I want my vision to come to fruition now. But I need to rein it in and relax and just take a chill pill already. I had a big month. Maybe I should calm down. So the new year has started, and I'm so hesitant to say that it's starting off on a positive foot, a good note. I don't know. I'm so scared. So today I went ahead and organized the house. I rearranged the living room a little bit. I cleaned the kitchen. I did the dishes. Well, actually, I have dishes to do. That's a messy counter. I can't even. So let me give you a little quick. This is what it looks like now, because I'm going to put a clip in here of the chaos that it was before. So, front door, I'm going to put my back to it. So from the front door, this is the kitchen. I still need to deep clean like the fronts of cabinets and put that bag of stuff that he's sniffing around in away. I have to figure out my table situation. This is just temporary until I can get a dining room table and figure out what I'm doing with both of these. That's probably going to go in the washroom. That's my folding table for craft fairs. That shelf is not a built. Fluff, could you scoot out of the way, please? Go on, quit itching your ear. I gotta hang my curtains. They're out here and here to go here. Ooh, sorry about that. And here. This is the dining room window and this is the living room window. So this is the living room right now. Chaos. Nothing is where it's supposed to be. Everything's just a disaster. Going to be the art studio. The art studio. This whole room. I'm so excited. I'm gonna step back into the bathroom here, see if I can get the whole room. For the most part, right? It's a nice big space. Yeah, I've got tons of organizing to do. I'll give you guys a tour once I'm done organizing. I just wanted to do a quick run through of what's going where. This is the bathroom. I'm not going to show you the bathroom. It's a bathroom. It's got bathroom stuff. It needs to be deep cleaned. The whole house needed to be deep cleaned when I moved in. I need to get a tall cobweb thing too. It was pretty empty for almost a month. So this is the bedroom. That back wall is getting painted this spring. The whole room's going to get painted, but that wall is so dark. My daughter likes really dark colors. But it's a pretty big room. That's a full-size bed. So it's not huge, but it's plenty big enough for me. The dog kennel is in here. I don't want it it was in the back washroom. I don't want him back there by himself, so I moved that here. But this whole room's getting changed around. I don't know why that did that. There we go. I don't know how. I don't like it like this. There's a window there. I'm going to put a big curtain there to make it look bigger. And then this wall is going to be a nice large curtain as well to make it look bigger. So we have two narrow, all the windows are pretty narrow. And then closet needs some sort of door and all this neat clothing and extra. I've been digging around in it for the last few days. Those don't go in here. That's where they landed when we were moving things in. But yeah, that's the space. A short one, just a little bit of information. And then, let me get up. I'm in the L of the couch here. Hold on. Nobody panic. Let me see if I can pull you off here without dropping you. And turn the camera over. I was watching a Let's Make Art, decided to stop and just bite the bullet and film this. So, let me get over here. What are you doing, silly? What are you doing? He doesn't know. So, front door. If you stand at the front door and you turn around, there's Fluff. Want to say hello? Your whiskers are all weird. Were you being crazy? You got craziness happening right there. He's like, I don't care. Can I go outside? Fine. He just wants to go. He just wants to stand right there and look around. Yep, I see you. I'm right here. That's it. There's nothing to see. It's dark out. Like usually the neighbor's light is not on either, and it's just darkness. No one has outside lights on here. I have these little lights around here, which I'm going to change out. Those are the lights my daughter had up, but no one has lights on. Like the neighborhood is dark, dude. And he's Monsieur Blackness just standing in the dark. Goofball. Is that it? Are you done? No? You need a minute? All right, I'm gonna let him have a minute. If I talk too much to him, he won't pee if he has to. All right, so let's do that. There we go. I could turn the lights on too. There we go. I put that privacy film on these two windows here and on this window here. It's very rainbowy and it's got leaves on it. I'll show it to you in the daytime. It's actually really, really pretty. Right now it just looks colorful. I have these curtains up for now. I'm going to change them out. They're not thick enough or heavy enough to keep the weather, like to keep the heat in. They're just there because I need color. But so here's the kitchen. I have I need a microwave stand situation there. I have my microwave on these two totes and I have kitchen stuff in there. And I need a tote for recyclables because I can recycle here. And my garbage can, of course. And then the kitchen cabinets down here are green. I'm going to change that out. At some point, my daughter painted them green. And she never got around to doing the top ones. And then I'm not sure about that rack that's behind the stove. This whole configuration is going to change up a little bit when I get the shelving that I want for this area right here. I didn't want to put curtains here and then L them there because it didn't feel right. I don't want to do that. Plus the garbage can's right there and I don't want the garbage situation near curtains. I feel like that's a bad plan. But I want a round dining room table for here and then 4 chairs to start. And we'll see how much room that takes up because I was going to get a long table like this and put this here and change my mind. I don't want a long table. I want a round table. That's just how the space feels right with a round table. And then if you go, that's the doorway into the art room. And then that is the doorway into the washroom. And that is the doorway into the bathroom. And that is the doorway into my bedroom. And this is the living room. Front door. Immediately the other side of the room. Let me scoot back here. So this is the same setup I had in the apartment for the TV and all my books and stuff. And then over here I was thinking of a little writing desk and shelves above it because the heaters they're going to live there. But I want a desk for my journals, which are actually stacked on that table right there. That table is a little like bistro table for out on the porch. But it's too wet out there right now to put that out there. So I'm not going to do that. It's just living there for now. Well, this is me calming down. The rugs are all like from the apartment. They're a little mismatched. And I would like to eventually replace the rug situation and the curtain situation. But for right now, this is what it looks like. This is the couch that my daughter gave me. She left it here. I have to replace the cushions for the back with my cushions because the cushions that came with it were pretty trashed. The whole couch needed to be completely tore apart and cleaned because of the dogs. And now it doesn't smell like a dog anymore. It doesn't smell at all. But I configured this. This is detached so I can move it. I could turn this light back off now. This is where you guys were set up just moments ago. So this is a detached footstool at this point. I took the back off of it. I could have used it as a chair, but I don't want a chair. I don't need another chair. So this is my little love seat couch situation. And then my yellow chair's here, but the footstool's in the bedroom. Because it's in the way there. The footstool's in the way there. And then this is Fluff's blanket. I got to get him an actual bed. Haven't got that far. I did get my oil heaters because these heaters take a lot of electricity. These warm the house quite nicely. They all switched off for the whole day today because it was cozy in here and I didn't need the oil heater. So I have a heater here. I have an oil heater there. And then there's one in that back room because that door's closed, but I don't want that room to be completely like frozen. It's the washroom. So bedroom is in here. I switched it around. I didn't make my bed, so pardon the unmade bed. These are all the cushions that were on the back of the couch that need to go. Where, I don't know. That's the footstool for the yellow chair. That's the heater. That's a lamp I don't know what I'm doing with yet. My yoga mat. A stool I don't know what to do with. Fluff's kennel, which I need to get a cover for. He had some kennel time today. I guess I could have made the bed. This was an impromptu video situation, you guys. There. That's better. So, mirror, the bed's on this wall. This whole room's going to get painted and curtains are going to get hung, but this is the bedroom so far. I need a dresser, so clothes are here for now. Ta-da! Organized instead of the pile on the floor that I lived with for days and days. And then I need to get a cover for the closet as well, and then curtains. This window looks out to the backyard, and that's the controller for my walking pad, which is under the bed right now. And then if you come on through here, this is the art studio. Art studio. Ba, 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 ba. I don't know why we're in Star Wars. No clue. The ceiling slopes that way. So it's a smaller room, which I think you saw the chaos before in the clip before. It's still, I vacuumed. I had these crates under here, and I need to find a home for my sewing machine. And my backpack is on the chair because I dropped my lip stuff, and I needed to move it out of the way. So this is the chair. And then so far, I will do an in-depth tour, a studio tour, but this is just like a panning. I'm going to put sheer curtains here to kind of separate the space, but not separate it. Little emotional visual separation. So I've got drawing books, art supplies. Back here is the cabinetry from the kitchen that got shifted into here. I'm not going to paint this. This room is what it is for now. There's still all this chaos to organize that's on here. I haven't got to it, but I feel like I've done a lot with all the stuff that's happened. Printer stuff, paper stuff, canvases are back in the corner, Cricut, drawer with all my paper in it, paints, empty. The yellow ones are, some of the yellow ones are empty, and then the bottom ones are papers. And then this is the computer setup. This is completely separate from the art setup, which I really like a lot. Dual monitor situation is really nice for me. I dig that so much. And then this is the washroom, which is also in progress. My daughter painted these walls kind of a purpley brown color. The lighting does not do the color justice. It's a very plum color, but more on the brown side. I hung these little shears up for privacy. This curtain covers the back door because the back door is very drafty. This is the curtain that was in this doorway here. It's very heavy. It's very thick. There's a couple layers. And then this side's going to be the kid zone. I have to find somewhere. The heater needs to go over there. And I need a rug because this floor is freezing. But yeah, I'm still organizing. I need shelves back there for things. I've got these totes which have things, canning stuff and whatnot in them. I have these 2 carts. I might break those down and put them away. I'm not sure. Stuff. Christmas is over in the corner over there. And then the cleaning supplies. That thing, the vent for the dryer gets very, very hot, so I don't want anything touching it. So nothing's touching it right now. My wagon needs to go out in the garage space at some point, but yeah. So yeah, that's the inside of the house at this point. That's the back of the footstool that needs to be thrown away because I don't need it. I'm not going to reconfigure the couch into a big situation. Oh, and there's the bathroom, which, it's a bathroom. It's just, I put can you see the green? Yeah. So I need to organize that. I don't want any of that up there. This is chaos for me. And then I put those totes in here. My daughter kept her hamper in here. I don't want to do that. But I haven't organized any of this. It's all just chaos. Just general bathroom stuff. Bam. I would like shelves because this room is pretty big. I want to paint in here. The bathroom's pretty big. There's all this space behind the door. I would like to put some shelves there and get some plants and, make it pretty and nice. And it's got this tile floor, which is freezing. It's beautiful, but it's so cold in the morning. It's cold right now. But yeah, that's this vlog. I should let Fluff back in. Let's let Fluff back in. He's probably mucking about if he's not standing at the door. Are you done? There he is. Come on, Sparkles. Inside. Good boy. Good boy. Good job. You're so silly. He's a very good boy. Yes, he's a very good boy. He's a sweetie pie. Yes, he is. He's a little damp from the misty rain. Okay. Let me know what you think of the space. I apologize for not vlogging as effectively as I wanted to, but yeah, life got crazy. Life got crazy. Fluffnut, what are you doing? There's nothing over there for you, big boy. I call him Fluffinator and Fluffnut. Yes, because he's a good boy. Yes, he is. What's your baby? Look at that face. How could you not love it? Where's my love? You can't have that. He likes shoes. He gets bored and he will chew. No, you don't need to be in there. Come on. He puts himself to bed too. My sassy dog used to too. He at 10 o'clock at night, he stands up and he looks at me like, "Are you coming?" Like, God, dude, I'm not ready. I just sat down because I've been taking some, I can turn this light back on, maybe. There we go. I've been taking some me time at the end of the day. Yes. And trying to kill some of my anxiety. It's better now. I think talking about things helps a lot. Thank you for listening, everybody. It's been a lot this month. It's been a lot. 2026, we're on an upswing, right? I'm in the house. I love the house. There are lots and lots of things I want to do, but I don't need to do them all right this second. I want them all done, just done, but I don't need to do them all right now. I have time. I have plenty of time. So for Christmas, I got myself a bunch of these little bee, I don't remember the name, bee balms. And they come with this little wand in the cap, which I never use. I thought it was a nice touch though, but the balm is really nice. This is supposed to be the chocolate one. They're not intense in flavor or strength. They mostly just smell nice. They all feel exactly the same. They don't taste like anything, which is nice. Yes. He's looking at me at the top of his eyes like that. He does it all the time. He just looks at me. Cocks his little head. And looks at me like, what are you doing? Yeah. I love you, silly boy. So that's where things are at right now. Let me know if you have any questions, I guess, or comments down below. It's been a lot. Today's the first day. Like, I cleaned house, I mopped, I vacuumed, I did all the things, I scrubbed, I reorganized a little bit. There are still lots and lots of things to do, but I don't need to do them all today. So I'm trying very, very hard to calm down and relax and not pressure myself into an anxious place. Right? Right. So I'm going to finish. I'm going to warm up. I made myself a hot chocolate and there's in this big cup. I'm going to warm that up. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to watch the rest of this video. Let's Make Art. If you haven't been to their channel, 2 thumbs up. They're wonderful. Sarah is great. She's a very good instructor. Fluff, what are you doing? He went in the bedroom. It's not bedtime, dude. Why are you going in there? You just in there. There's legitimately nothing in there, and he doesn't want to go in his kennel. He did go in there earlier today, though. It's the first time he's gone in there voluntarily without being prompted. Hold still. He has some boo-boos that are healing, but I like to make sure that we don't have... Stop. Let me look. Yeah, it's just a boo-boo. Okay. He had a very red, raw, itchy skin, and he's doing much more better. Yes, he's much less itchy. That constant itching, I'm sure, drove him absolutely insane, was driving me absolutely insane. But I keep finding, like, when I pet him, there's a spot, and I want to make sure it's not a tick. And usually it's just a scab. I haven't found a tick yet. So he's on the mend. Yes, you're on the mend. Yes, you are, you big fluff nut. You big fluff nut. The Fluffinator. No, don't climb in my lap. He climbed into bed earlier this morning and cuddled with me for a little bit. Wrestled around. Ninja. All right. I'm going to take off. And thank you for being here. If you stuck around this long through this whole just chaotic explanation of December, welcome to 2026. We're gonna do good, right? We're gonna do good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I'm in the house. I'm doing well. Things have sorted, and today is the first day that things are starting to swing down a little bit. Swing down. Just yeah, thanks for listening, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.